guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. I wanted to come on with a video here about mono rooting. A client, no, I'm sorry, excuse me, not a client. A viewer of mine is having a hard time with mono rooting. So I thought I would come on and try to, do a little tips, little tricks. This is the only head right now that I have that I can show on. So I'd like to do one from the beginning and show you how to map out and how to do all the little swoops and swirls and things you really want to get that beautiful head of hair that you're wanting. But I can do that in the future. So I'm just going to start out with this. I have some Delta Dawn dark chocolate brown mohair here. And I'm going to use this. It's what I've been using for her hair so far. And the Delta Dawn, I use that most often because I like the way it looks. I like the way it comes out. I like the fineness of it and how it looks once it's rooted. So I'm just brushing my little tuft here to make sure to get any loose, uneven hairs out. In the past, Delta Dawn's been notorious for leaving out which end of the hair is a cut end. But now she's started to label it more. I've got a little sample here with these little stickers. So you want to make sure, guys, when you're rooting, that you always use the cut end. Okay? That's what hair you're going to want to root into the scalp here. Because if you don't, it will come out. Whether glued or not. Let me show you what I mean here. So, this is my cut end. See how when I rub, stays? Now, watch. This is the not cut end, okay? The opposite end. Usually it'll pull out before you can even pull the hair back. But let's see. I recently cut my nails. See? And I'm not used to them yet. This is some more with the not cut end. See how that just pulls right back out? See, you can't even get the hair to stay in. Make sure that you do that test and that you're rooting with the correct end, because you will have hair loss. Now, what I've done prior is I've heated my rice. I take a sock and I pour my rice in. Now I put a little cup of water in I put the rice in the sock and put it in the microwave. Then take a cup of water and set in the microwave with the rice sock. And then I heat it it depends of course on your microwave, but I heat mine for about 4 minutes because I like my vinyl really hot. Because it just makes it so much easier to root. Make sure that when you're putting your rice into the head, that you don't put the whole entire sock in, or pantyhose or whatever. I hate to admit it. I really do, but many years ago, when I was newer, I put the whole thing in. And when I rooted my hair, guess what? It rooted into the sock. So when I pulled it out, all my hair come with it. So it was terrible. But anyway, you live and you learn, trial and error. And that's what most of my reborning career has been, is trial and error. I will be celebrating 10 years this coming January. Yay, I'm super excited. And we'll do something special for that. Not sure what yet, but anyway, let's go ahead and get down to business. And I don't know what it is, but here lately, I've been finding so many of these white hairs in my Delta Dawn hair. And I do not like it. Not one little bit. Alright, so that's out. So, what I'm doing here is I'm working my way into my swirl that I have started up here. Let's see if you can't see that, can you? It's an incomplete swirl anyway, so you're not missing much. Alright, so I always start from the bottom and work my way up so that I'm not trying to root under hair, because if you start from the top and go down, you're going to be trying to push away hair to root in. So I always start at the bottom and work up. So I'm going to be going this way towards my swirl, okay? Then we'll bring all the rest of it up. I'll come over here. And then finally I'll root into the front that's missing there. So we'll just go ahead and I'll show you how I do it here. So I make sure I pull out one hair and I keep my tufts when I'm mono rooting. I try to keep my tufts small and thin so that I can access those one hairs a lot easier, the single hairs. That helps me to be able to do that. And guys, when you root for so long, so many years, so many heads, you will just automatically turn which way you need to go, and you'll automatically hold your needle the right way, and just you'll do all these things without thinking about it. And it was really hard for me to get in the habit of doing, but you also want to make sure you keep your needle as flat to the vinyl as you can without coming, going in and coming out the other side. Because what that does is that causes the hair to lay down for you like you want. Now, as far as patterns, what I do, I stagger my rows. Okay? And what I mean by that is I'll go, see how I've got hair, 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 hair. Well, I'll come around and then I'll start putting my hairs on the next row where that gap is between my prior hairs. And that's how I do it. And other people may have a different way, because I've never been able to find a tutorial that actually helped me when I was learning to root. And not many when I was learning to paint. I had to go through a lot of trial and error back then, guys. And that's good, though, because I can share with you. So just keep on, punching in one hair at a time. It is quite tedious. time consuming. But as you go along, you'll get a little faster. It's not so bad. It's, for me, it's better than punching in blind, getting a bunch of thick, pluggy looking hair, and then having to go back and pull out. I mean, every now and then you're going to accidentally get two anyway or more. You're going to have to go pull out, but not when you're having to do it all the time. And I just grab that hair with the end of my needle, pull it out, and root it in. And I always just make sure I'm aware of two things: my direction and the way I'm holding my needle. Because I'm going to tell you something, even if let's say you mono root your entire head, okay, but you're holding your needle wrong. Say you're holding your needle straight up. You're going to, when you try to lay that hair down, even when you put it down with water and stuff, or whatever you use, you're going to have a little bump at this scalp. You're going to have a little bump, where your hair comes out. It's going to bump up and it's going to look awful. It's not going to look good. Now, let's say this happens. Okay. Let's say you get a hair that's really dark and pluggy. All you have to do is take your tweezers and pull it right out, and it'll come right out. Also, if you plug in and you've got a tail, where the hair's sticking out of the cuticle, you can either push it back in with your needle, push it into the scalp to where that's no longer sticking out, or you can take your tweezers and pull it out. Usually your needle will cut that in two anyway. And you're going to want to make sure that you get your barb or barbs, depending on your needle, behind your hair to make sure it goes in, okay? Because if you don't, the hair won't go in. Thought I had a tail there. I did. And look at this. That's just a weird looking hair. To me, that's just weird looking. Yeah. But, it is, like I said, it's very tedious, time consuming. But, before you know it, you're just moving right along. And make sure you push your needle in as far as it'll go, okay? Because you want to get that hair in that head really well, so you'll have a real good hold, and you have a lot of hair that you can glue. And just keep working with your hair and your directions. And when I get a head that we can start from scratch, I'll be able to show you much better from start to finish. The needle I'm using right now, there's another white hair, is a 42G 1-barb. It's one of my 2 favorites. Well, actually, I have an all-time favorite, but I can't use it, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. But the 2 needles I most commonly use are the 42G 1-barb and the 46G 1 and 3-barb. Now, my very favorite, all-time, awesome, wonderful needle, the needle that you can just go through and pop, 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 and it puts 1 hair in. You don't have to drag out 1 hair at a time. That is the 42G forked needle. It's awesome. However, I can't use it. It makes me really sad. Especially when you're working with really fine hair like Delta Dawn or alpaca for baby fine side hair and things like that. The reason why, and this is from just my experience, I don't know if anybody else notices this or has this issue, but if you noticed, for example, on this needle has got a sharp tip, and if you look, it's triangular. Well, with the 42G or the fork needles in general, the ends of the needles are blunt. Okay? So a little sharp, not much, but a little. And so what happens for me is they leave little visible holes in my vinyl, no matter if the vinyl's heated or not. That's one of the reasons I don't use them anymore. I don't like that. You should not be able to see holes in your vinyl from rooting. It just does not look good. Second is when working with such fine hair, I noticed that because of the sizable holes, the hair pulls out a lot more. So then again, I cannot take chances with hair pulling out. I just can't do it. So, you're welcome to try the 42 forked or the forked needle in general. You may have a better experience with it. It may work for you, and you may be the lucky one that can just go through and pop, 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 pop. But guys, for me, it just didn't. So, what if you get a needle that won't root anything in? You're holding your needle, and you're rooting, and it just won't put anything in there. Well, a lot of needles you have to turn, okay? But the one way you can tell is to take your fingernail, run it on the shaft of the needle here towards the tip, and feel for your barb. And you can tell where your barb's located, and then you can turn your needle accordingly. Some, I've noticed you have to turn to the side here to where this little end handle is facing to the left. And that's how you get your hair in. But you can work with your needle and just, find out which works best for you. As far as purchasing needles and where to get good needles, I get my needles, and my needles only. It's the only thing I buy from this place is needles, and I get them from Dolls by Sandy. I get my kits and my paints from McPherson. Sometimes Irresistibles if McPherson's out of stock on something. But the one place I do not recommend buying needles is Bountiful Baby. And I just personally don't like their needles. Nothing against them. They carry some great products. And they've got great prices, and especially for people that's on budgets and need to save money, they're wonderful in that aspect. But the last time I used Bountiful's needles, they were so thin they would just break constantly. And so I bought some needles from McPherson, and they were okay. But then I bought some needles from Dolls by Sandy, and I love her needles. I just do. I never have issues breaking needles now. On occasion, I'll have a 46, the end, I'll have it snap off, but that's just because it's really weak and thin because it's so small, which you have to come to expect. But with these needles, guys, they just don't break. I mean, I wear them out before they, I guess before that happens. But that's where I would suggest purchasing your needles. Now, Bountiful may have different needles now. This is the last time I purchased. It was been about 2 years ago, maybe. Probably around 2 years ago. They may have switched their needles. I'm not sure. But at that time, the needles that they carried, they broke on me constantly, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, it was constantly breaking. But McPherson's got some okay needles. Irresistibles has got some good needles. But, like I say, my all-time favorite is Dolls by Sandy. And also Stephanie's Honey Buns. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Honey Buns. A friend of mine, she is the owner of it. She's actually a master artist, and she also runs Honey Buns. It's a Reborn supply store, and she doesn't really have many kits. She's got a few of her own sculpts that she's done, but mainly it's just supplies, and she's got some decent prices and things like that. And I like her needles pretty good. And also, I've used some of her paints before, and she also sells a lot of the in addition to Genesis, she sells a lot of the water-based paints, and if you guys are into that stuff. I'm not. I've always been into Genesis. I love Genesis. I've tried other paints. They just don't tickle my fancy, I guess you'd say. But yeah, that's where I get my needles. As far as the Delta Dawn hair, I know everybody is, like, my goodness, it's pretty expensive. And it is. It's normally, I think, $70 for a half ounce. But if you join their email list, she sends out emails with specials, and also where you can save money. I think I paid for a half ounce of the dark chocolate brown, which I love. It's just, to me, it's the perfect shade of brown. I think I paid $49 or $59, maybe $49. I believe it's like $48.99, something like that, for a half ounce. So she does do a lot of good specials, and sometimes she'll come down even cheaper. And then, of course, if you want to buy an ounce, you can save. I forgot what the savings is. I think it's like $40 you save off of a full ounce. So, but anyway, you can join that mailing list and get some discounts on that. That's about it on rooting for right now. Like I said earlier, I am going to do a full head from start to finish with you guys on my next rooting, so that I can give you some tips, show you how to get the hair you're wanting. And, that'll be a lot easier to follow rather than just, showing you when I'm almost finished. and then I can do the cutting and show you guys how I cut my hair and everything like that if you're interested. But my next video I'm going to do is going to be one of my secrets videos. I'm going to show you some of my painting secrets. I'm going to show you how I start and prep a Bountiful Baby kit for painting. I don't know if you guys have noticed, and I'll go over this more in the video, but Bountiful Baby vinyl is different than most other vinyls. And some people find it, a little tricky to paint. So I'll show you guys some secrets on that and show you how I get a kit ready. And you may be already doing it, or you may be like, wow, I never thought about that. But we'll do some secrets, and I'll teach you guys a few things based on my experiences. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's just my way. And I can, I feel like if I can share that and help somebody, that'd be great. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I know I've rambled on forever, but I'd like to thank you very much for watching my videos. And thank you to the ones that reached out to me and, in response to what I'm going through. And I really appreciate that. It's really nice to know that, some people take the time out of their day to, think of you and wish you well. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and God bless you. Bye-bye.